Please keep your hands and feet inside the ride the entire time and do not disengage until the ride has come to a complete stop. Buckle up. This is a most a morality tale. My story is about my life with spina bifida, but it's also about my drug use and my journey to find myself. I was born in 1979, and I had an amazing life growing up. Getting to go on trips and vacations. I went to sports camps growing up. I played wheelchair basketball throughout high school and one semester in college before being kicked off the team. Because of basketball and my parents, there are only 9 states that I've never been in. I was never a good student. I was very social, and I could talk and would talk to almost anyone. I walked with crutches and braces until I had a detethering operation about middle school. After that, the doctor said, "Oh, by the way, here's your chair, you'll never walk again." I do believe I was indifferent to the change. If anything, I'm better for it, and I'm more mobile and easier to get around and access things. 2 years ago, after 20 plus years of being in the chair, my legs were atrophying towards my chair and getting caught in my wheels, and it just became cumbersome. So I consulted with a doctor and numerous others about my amputation, and they all said, "Well, they're your legs, you need to decide." So he referred me to a doctor, and a week later, I had an amputation, and again, I am so much better for it, I have never regretted it. Throughout life, it was never about spina bifida or being different or even fitting into the mold of everyone else. It was a mindset that I thought possibly something was missing from my life. I was a big people pleaser. I always thought, if you're okay, I'm okay. But also, I wanted to distinguish myself from you. Besides the disability, I always tried to distance myself from the norm. I including dyeing my hair 14 different colors in school. In high school, I started smoking marijuana along with drinking. The last day of my senior year in school, we were outside the school laying under a tree in the grass, and a friend produced a bag of green leafy substance, and I thought, "Well, what's that?" And he said, "Marijuana." And we started to smoke it, and really things grew from there. I had always been in the music scene, especially electronic music. I would go to raves, and I would see other able-bodied people dancing it up, doing drugs like ecstasy, acid, and other things. Having to look at what it was an amazing time. So I thought, this is what you do. And when in Rome, often I would pull the handicap card and get the drugs for free. My parents said something was different, but I would always say, "I'm fine and I'm just a little tired." I don't feel the drugs were covering up any pain at all. I just thought that was the norm in life. During this, I had been diagnosed with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. Eventually, the psychedelic drugs stopped working. I asked my psychiatrist, and he said I was taking a lot of psych meds, and they counteracted the illegal drugs that I was taking. My personal crisis came over a year and a half ago. My apartment manager threatened to kick me out because of my drug use. They usually give you 3 strikes and you're out. I was on my 7th warning. So when number 8 came, I agreed to go to rehab 35 days in an Omaha residential treatment program. For the first week, I was solely in there to save my apartment, not grasping anything they were teaching me, not doing any of the quote-unquote homework. And 2 weeks into it, I decided, you know what, 18 years of drinking and drugs, I could possibly have a problem. Things have continued to get exponentially better. I have a huge support system that I didn't know I had. Of course, my family, for the most part, was so happy. But my whole apartment home health team is completely behind me, which I had no idea or realized. My Narcotics Anonymous sponsor tells me that I'm just living sober instead of being in recovery, because I'm not doing the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. He tells me that I need to understand my drug use to understand myself as well as others. Even though I am a people person and can be touted, I have thousands of friends, and I am very lonely. I would like to date. I haven't been with a girl in over a decade. In Nebraska, as well as all over, I'm sure, there are a lot of self-righteous, closed-minded people that won't look past my chair to see how nice I really am and how good looking I am. I am a lot more at peace than I ever have been. I took in a stray cat that had been abused. Mr. Bigglesworth is a lot of care. I live on $881 a month in disability, and my rent is $235, and I have over a $100 cell phone payment. So money is tight, and I go to a lot of concerts. I need to work on budgeting and management of money, and I've always had terrible follow-through. My happiness still comes from being with other people. I also have been introduced to parents of a well-known DJ in Omaha as the most well-known person in a wheelchair in Nebraska. Also, I realize that I have strengths despite my body's limitations. I am a whole person. I do not need to escape from my situation by using drugs. Spina bifida or drug use no longer defines me, and I am learning who I am and what I want to do for myself. Thank you very much for listening.